Hello, everybody. Welcome to our bodyweight strength training class today. My name is Brenna. It'll be a 45-minute class that I'll lead you through, focusing on all parts of the body. We don't need any equipment, just a mat or an open area. We will start out reading the waiver and then we'll get into our workout. So in order to make these classes as freely accessible as possible to our participants, we will be using a verbal warning and assumption of risk at the beginning of the class. Participation in this class is voluntary. Physical activity programs may result in injury, and by participating, you assume the risk of injury that may result from your participation. We strongly recommend that you participate from a space that is suitable for this activity. For example, make sure you have moved nearby furniture and other potential hazards. If you are participating in a yoga class or a class that involves laying on the ground, like this one, we recommend using a mat, or if you don't have one, a carpeted area. Participants are encouraged to stop if they experience pain or injury and should seek appropriate medical advice or care as needed. William & Mary Health and Wellness strongly recommends that each participant have an annual physical examination and follow the advice of your healthcare provider before participating. All right, so now that we got that out of the way, we will go ahead and get started. So we're going to start standing at our mat with a little warm up and then get into our work. All right, so I'm going to start just behind my mat so you can see me for now. We're going to start just warming up with some shoulder rolls, drawing our shoulders up towards our ears, back, and sliding those shoulder blades back into our pockets. And again, I don't know about all of you, I just woke up not too long ago, so it's good to get that body warm before we start working it. And one more. We'll reverse that direction, drawing our shoulder blades back, up to our ears, and down in the front. Very nice. One last one. And now we'll move to open up those hips. So I don't know about all of you, but with sitting for class and everything, my hips have definitely gotten tight. So we're going to do some open the gate exercises. So drawing that knee up to parallel to the floor, drawing it out and back down. And you can alternate legs or stay on one. And maybe you feel some activation in your glutes. And then you can join me reversing that direction. So drawing the leg out from behind, parallel that thigh to the ground, and drawing it back to the front. Just a couple more. One more each side. Very nice. Now you want to find yourself at the top of your mat or an elongated space that you have on the carpet. We're going to start with a nice deep breath in, arms overhead, swan dive with a flat back, generous bend in our knees to our first forward fold. So just hanging here for a minute, feeling it in the hamstrings. And then we're going to slowly walk those hands out one at a time until you find yourself in plank. Holding for a couple seconds. 3, 2, 1. Walking those hands back to our feet. And then we stand it up. We're going to repeat that inchworm movement, hinging at your hips to forward fold. Out to plank. Hold for a couple. Back in. And stand. Keep this going at your own pace. This is a good full body movement, especially for the core. Maybe you notice that each time you go back to forward fold, it feels a little more comfortable as our hamstrings get used to this movement. Let's take 2 more inchworm combos. Last one. Let's hold it all together here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let those knees drop. Take it to a child's pose. Glutes over your heels, stretching those arms out in front of you. Very nice. Find your way back to standing. And we'll move into our first official working movement. So we're going to start with all our standing movements for class, and then we'll work our way down to the mat. So we're going to find our squat stance to begin. So I find my most comfortable squat stance, feet a little wider than hip width here, and toes slightly pointed outward. And then we'll just start with a squat. So I'll show you from the side. We want to, like we're sitting back in a chair. Your knees can be over your feet, but you don't want them far over your toes like that. Sitting back, chest nice and proud, and we stand it up. So just some normal squat reps here. Getting those quads and glutes fired up. And then we're going to add on to that. So after you squat, we extend and we go all the way up into a calf raise here and back down. Nice. Can you hold that calf raise a little longer and a little balance challenge in between each rep? So if you're doing workouts on your own at home, it's always a good idea to start with some large body movements for warm-ups, not always starting with those smaller muscle groups. Let's take 3 more, then we'll move to a different variation. So this next rep, we're going to add a standing crunch. So we squat, bring one elbow to opposite knee, squat, other side. You bring that knee an inch higher. Two more on each side. Last one. Very nice. Grab a sip of water. I'm already breathing hard. Alrighty. So we're going to move into a standing tricep and shoulder work here. So you're going to find yourself hinged at your hips, not entirely parallel to the ground. You can be up a little bit here. Nice gentle bend in our knees. Protect our legs and our lower back. You're going to find one arm extended out in front of you, one arm extended out back. They should be in a straight line here. That back arm, squeeze it nice and hard. You should feel activation in your tricep. That's the back of your arm here. And that upper arm, it might be more of a subtle feeling, but you should feel it in the shoulder and upper back. Then we control the switch. Take it to the other side. Hold for a couple seconds. Feel the activation and switch. So this is an awesome movement for if you do have access to weights, or even if you don't have weights, water bottles, candles, speakers, anything that would give you a little extra resistance. Make sure we're controlling that movement, not using momentum in between. Woo, I'm feeling the burn in my triceps. I hope you are too. And now, let those arms hang just below you. Maybe if you're feeling it in your hamstrings or glutes, shake it out a little bit. And then find yourself in that hinged standing position again. Gentle bend in your knees. Arms out in front of us like this. We're going to fly those arms out straight. Squeeze those shoulder blades together behind you and back down. So doing both at the same time. Again, option to use water bottles, weights, whatever you have, or join me in the body weight exercise. Keeping your gaze towards the ground, gentle, neutral neck position. If you feel strain in your elbows in this exercise, you can absolutely bend those arms and do the same movement. Give me 4 more. 3, 2, last one. Hold at the top. Feel the shaking for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out. Whew. Let's take a nice shoulder stretch. Bringing one arm across your body, grabbing above or below your elbow. And switching it out. And then quickly stretching out those triceps overhead. I'll get a little shorter. And switching to the other side. Beautiful. We've got one more standing movement before we make our way to the floor. So you're going to need a lot of room in all directions in this movement. So maybe find the appropriate space for that right now. We are going to work on some what I call clock lunges. So I'm going to start with my right leg from our standing neutral stance. We first lunge it forward to 12 o'clock, finding your 90-degree angle in the front knee and the back knee. So right here and right there. Try not to lean forward or back in any kind of crazy way. So we find 12 o'clock. We step back to neutral. Next, we find 3 o'clock in our side lunge. So in your side lunge, keeping your chest nice and proud, not letting that knee go over your toe in that direction. We step back to neutral, and then we'll find 6 o'clock in the back. So again, 90-degree angles in both knees, back to center. And then we'll go to the other side. So we'll find 12 o'clock, if you're on your left leg, back to neutral. We'll find 9 o'clock, step it in, and 6 o'clock. So you can continue this movement alternating legs. Maybe use your arms if you're having trouble balancing, so you can keep them on your hips throughout all movements. Or you can use some runner's arms, opposite leg and arm forward. And if you would like an extra challenge in this movement, try floating that leg in between. So keep that leg up. Really take some control. I've got some wobbly ankles from my years of gymnastics, but it's always a good challenge to try. Let's take one more combo on each side. Woo. It's all right if you wobble. As you just saw, I had a big wobble. Last one. And there we are. That is your last standing movement. Grab some water and I will meet you on the floor in our tabletop position. All right. So first we'll find our tabletop position. So on our hands and our knees, wrists right under our shoulders, and then your knees right under your hips here. When you take a look through your legs, You shouldn't see your feet. So make sure they're parallel right with your legs. I'm going to move forward because I don't have room. We're going to start with some bird dogs. So starting lifting your right arm out straight in front of you, and then feeling the engagement in your core as you lift the opposite left leg extending out behind you. And then replace both on the ground, extending left arm ahead, right leg straight behind you. And replace on this next one, find your extension. And then we'll find a crunch, knee comes to elbow underneath you. We extend again, and we come back to tabletop. Other side, same deal, extension, crunch, extension, back down. This next one, we're going to crunch 3 times. So we crunch, we extend, back to crunch, extend, last one, crunch it in, full extension, back to the ground. You know what's coming on the other side. Nice and long, crunch it in, out, and one more. Take this a couple more times at your own pace. You can take the single crunch or triple crunch, whichever you prefer. Keeping your gaze about a few inches in front of your hands here to protect that neck. Nice work, keep it going. Last one. Meet me back in your tabletop. We're going to find a few donkey kicks. So I'm going to start with my right foot. We lift that knee off the ground until our quads are parallel to the floor. With a nice flex foot, you pulse to the ceiling. Imagine there's ceiling tiles above you. We're trying to push those out. Make sure to keep your hips square to the floor. Don't let them open up to the side. Very nice. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to tabletop. We lift our other foot, quads parallel to the floor. Nice flex foot, hips facing the floor, not out to the side. And we punch out those ceiling tiles. Feel the tension rising in your glutes, maybe even your hamstrings a little bit. Nice work for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Bring it down. Take it back to a child's pose. If throughout today's workout you ever need a rest or a break, child's pose is an awesome option to come to. All right. Coming back to our tabletop position, our next exercise is our first and our only set of push-ups today. So I'll demonstrate all the options you have. You can take your push-ups here in tabletop where we're starting, bringing that chest towards the floor and pushing back up. Or you can straighten out that hip angle, keeping your knees and toes on the floor. You can take your push-ups on your knees. Or if you're feeling crazy, you can tuck those toes, lift your knees off the floor for push-ups on your toes. So our push-ups today, last class we had 10, so today we have 12. Got to add on a couple, of course. So you can do them at your own pace. I'll be counting mine if you'd like to go at my pace. And I challenge you to maybe just take 1 rep at a variation that's a little more difficult than last time. So I'll start on my knees. We've got 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, halfway, 7, 8, you've got this, 9, 10, 2 more, can you take 1 on your toes, 11, last one, 12, woo. Take it to child pose, or just sit up on your knees, whatever feels good. You guys killed those push-ups, and you are done with them for all of class today. Grab a sip of water. After those push-ups, you deserve it for sure. All right. Next up, we're going to find ourselves all the way laying on our stomach, nice and long. Oops, that's not going to work. Let me get my feet out. All right. So you want your legs fully extended, your arms fully extended in front of you. We're going to take some swimmers, as they're called. So we're going to lift left leg and right arm together, back to the ground. Left arm, right leg together, back to the ground. So as you start getting a feeling for these, maybe take them a little faster. I'm going to turn just a little bit because I keep hitting the couch. This is working on a lot of our posterior chain muscles, ones that are especially important for posture. So a lot of people work on their, when they refer to core, a lot of times they're talking about your abdominals and your obliques, but a lot of people forget about those back muscles as well, stabilizing our spine and counteracting those abdominal muscles. And then right here, we're going to lift all 4 limbs and we're going to swim really fast as you can go. You're Michael Phelps, you're someone else. My brother would be so upset. He's a swimmer. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew. Finished with those. We will find ourselves back in tabletop when you are ready. Got all kinds of dog hair on my mat. All right, we're going to take a rotation, sort of like we did those clock lunges. We're going to take a rotation through our different plank positions. So I'm going to demonstrate on my hands, but if you've got wrist concerns, or even if you don't and partway through they start to hurt a little bit, feel free to either use your fists instead, or all of these can be done on your elbows as well. So I'll demonstrate first. You can join me if you'd like, or wait until I'm done the first round and then join in. So we'll start with the plank that everyone's familiar with, our front plank. A nice straight line from the tip of your head down to your heels here. No mountains, no valleys, just a nice straight plank. Then I'm going to turn to my right plank first. So our side plank here, you can keep one foot in front of the other or stack them if you're feeling crazy. Again, nice straight position here. No mountains, no valleys. And then we'll turn to a back plank. So stepping that other foot through. Our fingertips face our heels. We make a nice flat position here. Again, no mountains, no valleys. And then we'll turn to our last plank position, our left side plank. Similar to the other side. You've seen this before. So we're going to rotate through 3 times on this side. So we'll start in plank and count each time we get to plank again. So we start in plank, we turn to side, we come to back, we turn to side. I'll do this next one on my elbows so you can see that option. So that was one rotation, we're on number 2 now. So plank, side, back plank, and side. One more time through. Beautiful. Take a quick break in child's pose. Now, you may think that you're finished with those. Surprise, you are not. We've got to rotate the other direction. So I'm going to turn myself. You can stay the same direction. It really doesn't matter because you face all directions in this rotation. We'll do 3 again, of course, to be even. Now, on this set, I want you to really focus on not letting your hips drop between movements. So even if you've got good plank positions, you don't want to let them drop as you're turning. So you want nice control to stay in that straight position. So starting here in your plank position, if you went the same way I did, now you're turning to your left plank, your back plank, and your right plank. So that's 1 rotation, 2 more times through at your own pace. If your wrists start to hurt, take it to your elbows. Last time through. And when you're finished, finding that child's pose. Whew. Nice deep inhales through the nose, exhales through the mouth. Find yourself on tabletop. We'll do a little wrist release, flipping one hand under, fingertips facing your feet. Touch each finger to the thumb. And back again. One more time. And shake it out. Ooh. Other side, flip the hand. Thumb to each finger. Back again. One more time through. And shake it out. All right. So now we will move to our backs. Grab a sip of water if you'd like. All right. We're going to start with almost the reverse of our bird dogs. So laying flat on our backs, we're going to find our reverse tabletop position. So finding your feet up, knees right over your hips. Your lower leg should be parallel to the floor. Your arms are straight up overhead. So right here, take a moment to scan your back. We want our entire back, especially focused on that lower spine, to be pressed into our mat or our carpet. That is important throughout this entire movement to protect our spine. So just like our dead, or not our dead bugs, these are dead bugs, just like our bird dogs, we're going to extend one arm overhead, opposite foot extends, and we return. We switch. Back up. So especially on the extension, focus on that core, helping to press your spine to the ground. For a little added activation on your next breath, when you come back in, add a crunch knee to elbow before you return to neutral. So we extend, we crunch, neutral. If that feels a little odd to you, you can extend after your crunch as well. So that would be extension, crunch, extension, return. Just like those bird dogs. Nice work. Let's do 2 more each side. Last time through. And hug those knees into your chest. Maybe rock side to side to massage that lower back. Our next movement, we got a lot of clock-inspired movements today. These are called tic-tocs, or at least when I was a gymnast, we called them tic-tocs. You can take this movement with bent legs, or you can take them with extended legs. I'll demonstrate first with bent legs, and then you can decide which position you'd like. Again, pulling that belly button towards the floor here. We keep our entire torso, especially our shoulders, locked to the floor as we lower those legs to one side. Hover a few inches above the ground. Return to center. You should feel activation in your obliques here. Maybe take your arms out in T or cactus arms. So the important thing about this movement is that we're controlling it. We stop in the center. We're not using our momentum to just wipe back and forth. Maybe play around with some straight legs if you'd like to try that. I find it a little more challenging. Make sure you're still breathing, especially in core exercises. It's easy to forget to breathe, but I promise your muscles will appreciate you breathing. So it's all right if that one hip bone lifts off the floor, as long as your torso is glued to your mat. One more time through each side. And then maybe with those legs extended. So our legs are extended up ahead. Don't worry if they're not perfectly straight. A little bend is all right. We're going to lift those arms straight up towards the sky. And we are reaching for our toes here. A little crunching. Make sure to keep space between your chin and your chest. We're not rolling our chin in. Nice work. Give me 5, 4, 3, 2. On the last one, we hold up high for 3, 2, 1. Whew. Extend legs and arms long, stretching out that core. Whew. Nice work. You can find your feet flat on your mat. We've got a couple more exercises before we cool it down here. Feet flat on your mat, about hip width apart from each other. You can keep your hands flat by your sides here or out to the side, whatever's comfortable. We're going to start with just our normal glute bridges. So one at a time, we peel our vertebrae off the mat here. Nice and high. Hold for a second at the top. And then nice, slow descent. So this is our foundational movement. You can always come back to this if you don't like the variations I offer. So the first variation, we'll start with a single leg glute bridge. So extending one leg, we do the same lift and the same lower. And then on this next one, if you want another option, hold it at the top, tap that extended foot to the ground, and lift, ground, and lift, ground, and lift. Then we lower. So we're still on the same leg here if you're doing single legs. We'll do one more time, and then we'll switch to the other side. So if you're lifting and lowering, controlling that movement of the leg, using our core, and lower. Beautiful. Replace those feet to the ground, make sure they're parallel. And if you were taking single leg, go ahead and extend that opposite leg and start with your lifts. If you were not taking single leg and you want a different option to change to, you can target those hamstrings by making a little first position V with your feet on the ground. And you'll feel a little more activation in the back of your leg at your hamstrings. So I'm going to join everyone else that's taking our single legs. So then on your next rep, we hold at the top. We tap to the floor and up with our extended leg, down and up. Last one, down and up and lower. Again. One more time through. Beautiful. We'll take a figure four to stretch out those glutes a little bit. Bring your right ankle over your left quad. Grab between that window behind your hamstrings of the left leg and pull it in for a figure four. After this quick stretch, we'll take one more exercise and then we'll take it to cool down. Switching to our other figure four. Left ankle over right quad, grabbing behind your right hamstrings. Very nice. All right. Finding those feet flat on the floor again for our last exercise. So we are going to cross one leg over the other, just like you're sitting in a chair. If this is a little uncomfortable, you can take to that figure four position as well for the same exercise. We're going to take hands just behind our head. We're only there to support our neck. We are not craning those elbows in or cranking those elbows in on our neck. That is not helping us. So just there to support our neck. Maybe only use a few fingers. I like to keep my hands nice and wide here for support. So this is going to be our oblique crunch. So first start with a crunch up to the center. Again, keeping that space between your chin and your chest here. Turning that left elbow towards right knee. Back to center and lower. We go up, twist, up, lower. Really focus on your core, controlling this movement, not using momentum from your arms to lift that head up. Find a breath pattern that works for you. Just a few more. Feeling it in the obliques. 3, 2, last one, and relax. Switch out that leg that's on top, either crossed over or figure four here. Find your hands behind the top of your neck, bottom of your head. We curl or crunch it up. We twist, elbow to knee, center, lower. Feel free to take these at your own pace, as long as you're controlling the movement. You can always speed it up or slow it down. Can you make this crunch a little higher than the last one? This is our last working movement of class. If you're shaking, you're doing it right. I am certainly shaking. Give me 4, 3, 2, last one. Make it good. And relax. Whew. Long extension of our legs and arms. We did a lot of core work today, so you're definitely going to feel it. Maybe grab a sip of water for our cool down. I'll lead you through some stretches, and then we will be finished for today. All right, so starting out, lay nice and long here. Find your knees on the, or not your knees, find your feet flat on the floor again. Cross one leg over the other. And then fall those knees across your body. So the leg that's crossed over top, you should be following the other direction. Keep those shoulders glued to the mat for a nice spinal twist here. In this cool down, take a moment to think of one thing in class today that you're proud of yourself for doing. Maybe it was those 12 push-ups. Maybe it wasn't all 12. Maybe you did one on your toes and you're really proud of that. Maybe it was a different movement you really struggled with. What do you think about that during our cool down? Coming back to center, switch out that top knee, and we fall to the opposite side. I don't know about all of you, but this should feel really good. It certainly does for me. Especially after that last oblique exercise. Returning to center. We hug both those knees in tight to our chest here. Roll that lower back out from side to side. And then we're going to hug just that right knee in tight, extending left leg out long. Thinking about all the amazing work your body did today. And that left foot flat on the floor, extending right leg up straight, grabbing somewhere either on your quads or behind in the hamstrings or up at your shin. Make sure not to grab behind your knee. Very nice. Moving back, both knees in. This time we hold that left knee in tight, extending right leg out long. Right foot flat to the floor, extending left leg up tall. Not grabbing behind our knee. Very nice. Rolling it up. Finding yourself either in a seated or kneeling position, either is fine. Just a few arm stretches before we're finished. We'll stretch out those shoulders again, grabbing above or below your elbow joint to protect it. Keeping that shoulder away from our ear. Switching to the other side. Letting your hands fall beside you. We find right ear over our right shoulder to stretch out that neck. Rolling through the bottom, over to the left side. Rolling again through the bottom, back to right. One more time. And we'll finish off with just a few shoulder rolls. We'll start to the front this time. Mostly because I like finishing with going backwards. One more. And roll those shoulders back. On the last one, hold your shoulders towards your ears. And with a big exhale, just let them fall. With that, we are finished. Thank you guys so much for coming to our body weight class today. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.